Assalamualaikum and hi to Madam Zawiyah. Today, our team, Focu5 or AKS Focus, will explain and presenting regarding the project management based on 3 modules that we have done. These are 5 members in our group, and the first one is me, Muhammad Musa. Next is Bram. Next is Irvine Shearer, Asyura, and also the last one will be Nurrul Nazwa. We divide our content of the presentation into 3 parts, and each part will explain about each module. The first part will be explaining the first module, the second part will explain the second module, and the last part will be explaining the third module.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Asyura binti Sofian, and for today we are going to present project management for Module 1. As for Module 1, the first thing is business plan, which is include 5 category, which is executive summary, mission statement, product or service, project definition, and project organization. For the first one is executive summary. Executive summary is some citizens still choose to use bus travel because of the cost of the higher public transportation is a bit higher than a bus travel. They find it outdated and not relevant in this modern era. Our mission statement is Lester Rival Corporation hired our organization to build a smart travel bus. Our product and service, Lester Rival is the first in the world to introduce a bus cover with a closed-circuit television, which is CCTV, and upgrade with the current software and hardware technology. Our project definition is the project will take place in about 1 year with a budget 250,000. Project organization is promote new and emerging technologies to make moving around a city more convenient and more cost-effective in transportation. Our introduction for this project is, this project involves smart bus upgrades for Lester Rival's residents. It is a 1-year project and will be implemented by experts. The purpose of this project is to make the bus more efficient, gain a faster information regarding the bus schedule, and able to help the user to have a better user experience. The interactive panel, destination announcement, smart tech payment system, and control circuit television are the technology that we deployed. The benefit that our organization will gain from the smart bus project is being able to achieve its objective, which are increase the number of citizens use the bus.
Greetings. Next, I will talk about the team organizations. We have 5 members of the group, which is Muhammad Faris as our project manager. His job is to guide the process and execute projects while working with the restraints like the budget and the schedule. Next, we have Bram as our technical expert. His job is to solve the technology problems and oversees the company's computer programs. Me myself is the team leader, and my job is to working on the overall projects and provide guidance and monitoring the tasks done by the team member. Next, we have Asyura as our subject matter expert. Her task is to offer companies or clients highly specialized knowledge regarding any specific areas. And lastly is Nurrul Nazwa as our sponsor manager. Her task is to responsible for the success of a project and provide necessary guidance and resource to the project team and manager. This is all for our team organizations. Next, we'll move on to the agreed upon. Agreed upon is the contract that signs by all 5 members. In this contract, the rules is the team focus or Focu5 consists of 5 members will work together to complete the task successfully, and each member will submit the task given to them by the project manager. We all sign this agreed upon. Next, I will pass it to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum madam, my name is Nurrul Nazwa, and for my part, which is the learning cycle, so firstly is the challenge. The challenge that we encountered throughout the project were the lack of clear goals, where we struggle to clarify the important requirement needed to complete the project, and then it creates several management issue, which we don't have any backup plans to foresee to identify any what-if situation that might happen throughout the project. And for the problem, we don't know how to start the project in the initiation phase. We did the meeting and brainstorming session for 3 hours. Then we conclude and finally found the solution. And for the opportunity statement, it is an urban living focus on the transportation, which is the bus. The bus will have interactive panel, new payment system, and CCTV. Where firstly the user can catch the announcement from the destination so that they didn't miss any stop. And then for the CCTV, the user will feel more secure because the presence of CCTV that can prevent any problem arise. And lastly, for the new payment system, which is cashless, that can be convenient for the user.
Okay, now I will talk about the business case. The proposed project is Smart Bus System. The problem statements are inefficiency of the public transportation, uncertainty of arrival time of the bus, and poor quality of the bus station. The objectives are to improve the condition of the public transportation, to encourage people to use more public transportation, and to reduce traffic congestion. The suggestions are modernization of the bus stop, showing comprehensible bus route, install announcement system, and real-time feed of the bus location. Next, let us move on to the MOV. So, the first part is the desired area of impact. There are 4 areas of impact, which are customer, social, operational, and strategic. For customer, high quality public bus services and introduce new technology. For social, better safety and reduce environmental pollution. For operational, public transport runs smoothly and the uses of buses by citizens increases, and traffic jam caused by the number of vehicles on the road decreases by 10%. For strategic, promote the benefits of using public bus and changes in modern public bus. The second part of the MOV is the desired value of project. Firstly, a faster information can be gained regarding the bus schedule. Next, a better user experience provided by the system. And lastly, more of the implementation of the system to all the bus and all the bus stations. The third part is the appropriate metric, which is increases the number of bus users by having 25% of the citizen uses the bus. And fourth, the time frame for achieving the MOV, which is 1 year. The final part for the MOV is the summary of the MOV, which is this project will be successful if we increases the number of citizens to use the buses and increases the usage of public bus user by 25% by the end of the year and decrease the number of vehicles on the road by minimum rate of 10%.
Assalamualaikum and hi to Madam. My name is Faris bin Musa and I will explain about the comparison of alternative. So there are 3 alternatives that we can choose. The first alternative is the maintain the status quo, which means that there is no upgrade be applied to the current system. The second alternative is upgrade the system with new technologies in software and also hardware. The third alternative is to custom build new system to replace the old system with new technologies in hardware and software. So the difference between the second alternative and the third alternative is that the second alternative we use an already made system that have proven, while the third alternative is that we custom build it from the scratch. So let's go to the next slide, which is the total cost of ownership, TCO. As you can see from the table, there are 3 alternatives, which is the maintaining status quo, purchase the software and hardware package, and also build custom system. And at this point, we want to focus on 3 costs, which is the direct cost, the indirect cost, and also the ongoing cost. The direct cost is almost focused on what things that we buy to improve the system. So the maintaining status quo, we don't have to buy anything, so we put none inside the budget. And for the purchase a software and hardware package and also the build custom system, there are something that we need to buy in order to improve the system. So this is the ongoing cost and also the indirect cost for the project. And basically all 3 alternatives have the same ongoing cost and also the indirect cost. And as you can see at the bottom, there's the total amount of budget that we have calculated. And the list will be the first alternative, which 132,000. The second alternative, which is 203,500 ringgit. And the last one, the custom build, which is the third alternative, which has 246,000 for the budget. Next, I will explain about the total benefit of ownership, or TBO. At this point, we wanted to elaborate the benefits of each alternative, what the client will get if they choose the first alternative or the second alternative or the third alternative. So the first alternative is that low risk for the client because we're just maintaining the old system and it doesn't make any upgrade. So there's nothing to be worried and there's low risk for anything happen. Next is the second alternative, which is the first one, it have able to save time because we use a software or some software that have already proven can be used for the system. So there's low possibilities that the project will fail. Because of that, we also can improve our efficiency because we just not need to focus only solely to build the system, but also can focus on other things. Next is because of those 2 things, we also able to improve the experience of user using the system that we built, and also at the same time, it also be able to have a progressive investment for the client if the project able to succeed. For the third alternative, the first thing is that why we build a custom system that we wanted to improve the audited system. So when we build a custom system, we're able to improve the audited system that have many bugs, something, or have a problem. And the second one is that the custom system also can be commercialized. If the system able to be achieved or to be successfully done, it also can be commercialized. And also, if the system able to do well, it also can increase user experience. And at the same time, because the custom system, the client have flexibilities to choose what they wanted inside the system. So for our recommendation, our team decide to choose the second alternative, which is we buy things or software that have already proven and apply to the system. So we just actually upgrade the current system to a new system. So why? First is we able to increase the efficiency because our time frame is 1 year. So we have a limited time to custom build a system if we choose a third alternative. So that's why we choose the second alternative. Next is that we use the current system technology, which have been proven and easy to implement. And the last one is that fresh loop. We're able to upgrade the current system to a new system, and it will make it more better and easy to use by the user. That's all for the module 1. There's a summary. We're able to give tasks and role distributedly accordingly to their professions and also their skills. And because of the team learning record and also the action plan, we're also able to help to solve the issue that happened inside our team. Next one is the MOV. We decide to increase the number of bus users by having 25% of the citizens use the bus within a year. And the last one is that we choose the alternative 2 to purchase a software and hardware package to be applied for this project.
Moving on to Module 2, Part 1. In this part, we are improvising our MOV for the operational. In the area of impact for operational is that we included percentage, which is public transport runs smoothly and the uses of bus by the citizen increase, and traffic jam caused by the number of vehicles on the road decreases by 10%. We included percentage in this and we make a few adjustments to the MOV summaries. This project will be successful if we increase the number of citizens to use the bus instead of using their own mode of transportation. We also will be successful if we manage to increase the usage of public bus user by 25% at the end of the year and decrease the number of vehicles on the road by the minimum rate of 10%. Apart from adjusting the MOV, we also included a few additional costs for the training fees, hardware installation fees, office utility costs, and previous total cost is 203,500 is the previous total cost, and the new total cost is that 243,500 ringgit Malaysia. That's all for part 1. Moving on to the next presenter.
For the next one, I am going to explain about deliverables structure chart TSC for the smart bus system. It has 5 categories: conceptualization and initialization, plan project charter, execute and control, close project, and evaluate project success. For execute and control, it has been another 5 category, which is analysis, design, construction, custom system, testing, and implementation or documentation.
As for the use case diagram, we have 5 actors. Firstly is the administrator, security officer, customer, bank, and the bus driver. For the administrator, they manage the system where they handle the bus schedule and they update new information and entertainment. They also set price rate where there will be a discount price for elderly and student. And for the security officer, their job is to monitor and CCTV and make a copy for the CCTV footage in case there something happened and the footage is needed. And then the security officer will notify the MERS if accident happen. For the customer, they can get information from the interactive panel, and then they will pay from the smart take system, where they can just tap the card when they enter the bus and tap the card again when they arrive at the stop. As for the bank, they will receive the payment that the user have made from the smart take card. And for the bus driver, they will follow the bus schedule and drive the bus.
Next is the WBS or word breakdown structure. So in order for us to make the WBS, we follow the DSC that have been made by Asyura. So there's 5 major things that we focus, which is the first one is conceptualization and initialization, plan or project cutter, execute and control, which have 5 more entities inside it, which is analysis, design, construction, custom system, testing, and also implementation documentation. Next one is the close project, and also the last one will be the evaluate project success. As you can see from the table, this basically summarize WBS that I create purposely for this presentation. because we have a fully WBS inside our project documentation. So this one is for mainly to focus on what we do and more understanding for the presentation. So as you can see, the smart bus system will take about 262 days in order to complete, which start from Tuesday 20 of December 2022 and will end on Wednesday 20 of December 2023. So it's basically 1 year. So at the first one, we focus on conceptualization and initialization. On this one, we focus on business case. How we decide our business case, how long we take. So we take about 7 days. Next, after we done the first things, which is the conceptualization and initialization, we go to the second things, which is the plan or project cutter. So in the plan and project cutter, there's some tasks. Project plan, identify stakeholder, create the MOV, identify user requirement and risk, and also the acceptance and approval. This task will take about 28 days. Next task is which is the longest, which it took about 214 days to complete it, which is the execute and control task. Inside it have 5 entities, which is analysis, and in the analysis, what we do is we do research and also update the requirement. Next is the design. In the design, we do the project sketching and also the logical design. Next, the construction custom system. At this one, we install all the hardware that we buy and also refine the system interface so it's matching with our preference. Next is the testing. We've done the prototype testing, and after we have done the testing, we have the feedback. So after we got the feedback, we try to improve it according to feedback, and we refine the system, and also we done the second testing. And the last one is the implementation documentation, which is we document the project. Also at the same time, we done the training program so we can pass the system to the trainer after this, and also the completion plan. The last 2 tasks will be the close project or also the evaluate project success. For the close project, there are 2 things, major things, which is the final project report and also the formal acceptance from the client. These things will took about 10 days. And the last one will be the evaluate project success, which we will try to evaluate what we have done for the project. So it took about 3 days. Next one will be the Gantt chart. This Gantt chart will show how we break down our work from time to time.
Let's talk about part 3 for module 2. For task linking, we use finish to start for the task schedule. The start date for the project is the 20th of December 2022. The end date for the project is the 20th of December 2023. The duration for this project is 262 working days. For the critical path, there is only one critical path available for the project timeline. The activity occurred sequentially from activity A to activity M. The table shows about the critical path. Each task is divided and grouped into different activities, and the activities are referred by alphabets. Each activity has its own estimated days, and all the activity has its predecessor except for activity A. The table shows the cost of the resources. The resources consist of the team members, CCTV, headquarters, training fees, hardware installation fees, NFC system installation, and lastly, information and entertainment system. Each resource costs differently, and the total cost is 243,500 ringgit. For the allocation of the resources, there is no any over-allocated resources, as each and every resources has been leveled accordingly.
The summary for our Model 2 project management is, in our project, we deploy the project infrastructure by refining our project MOV and adding some additional costs, as previously we did not consider of the salary for those who install the hardware and wiring, such as the CCTVs. Besides, we also deploy project scope that we define project work, including deliver structure chart, TSC, use case diagram, UCD, and the work breakdown, WBS, by using the Microsoft project as our guide and reference.
Next, we will do the comparison for 2 major things, which is the schedule and also the budget. It will show the original schedule and budget and also the revised schedule and budget after it have been deducted by 10% for the schedule and also 20% for the budget.
Lastly, we will talk about the module 3. In this module, I will talk about the differences between the original schedule and our final schedule with the revised schedule. In this schedule, we managed to cut 10% from the original schedule. First, from the create MOV in the project charter, we managed to complete it in 3 days, which was planned to finish in a week. Next, identify the stakeholder roles. We managed to do it in 1 week compared to the original schedule, which was scheduled for 2 weeks. Execute and control was managed to cut by 3 days. Excuse me, we managed to cut by 5 days. Next, the testing, we managed to cut it by 5 days as well. For the implementation documentation, the training program, we managed to cut it from 60 days to 55 days. The evaluate project success with the project evaluation, we managed to do it in a day. So we managed to cut a total of 95 days. Excuse me. Yeah, managed to cut 28 days from the original schedule. We managed to reduce it by 10%. That's all from me. I will pass it to the next presenter. Thank you.
I will explain about the side-by-side comparison between the budget of the original budget and also the revised budget. Let's go for the direct cost first. As you can see, from the item or the details, all the system that we use, the CCTV system, NFA system, and also the information and entertainment system have been deducted. How we deducted is, we got a promotion or a discount for each item. We are able to deduct by 20 ringgit. So after deduction, the CCTV system from 3,000 ringgit turns to 2,700 ringgit. The NFA system from 4,500 ringgit to 4,400 ringgit. And the information and entertainment system will be decreased from 59,000 to 58,600 ringgit. The installation fee, we keep it same because it's a fixed price. And for the training fees, from 10,000, we reduce it to 5,000 by half. And so for the office utilities also, we cut from 25,000 to 15,000. So we cut almost 10,000 ringgit. And the total is from the 106,500 ringgit of the original budget, we cut it to 90,700 ringgit for the revised budget. For the indirect costs, it's focused on the office rent and also the utilities. So we decide to change our office location. We choose an office that have a low rent compared to the original budget. So we're able to reduce from 21,750 ringgit to 80,300 ringgit. And also for the utilities, because of the low rent, it also have a low maintenance fee. That's why the budget from the original budget can be deducted from 7,250 ringgit to 6,300 ringgit. So the total for the indirect cost able to deduct from 39,000 to 24,600 ringgit. This is the ongoing cost. Ongoing cost is mainly focused on the salary of our staff. So we have 5 staff. In the original budget, we decide to give 1,100 ringgit per month for each staff. So that's total of 108,000 ringgit for a year. So, but because of the deduction, we decide to deduct from 1,800 ringgit to 1,500 ringgit. And also, we decide the 28 days that they don't work because of the deduction of the schedule. So we got 79,500 ringgit for the total of the salary for 5 people in the time of the project is made. So the overall total from 243,500 ringgit, we're able to reduce it 20% to 194,800 ringgit.
Let us see what are the 5 risks existed throughout this project. Number 1, the employee may reject the job offer, and Irvine will handle this risk. Number 2, the client disagree with the MOV made. Faris will handle this risk. Number 3, the planned schedule has exceeded the days limit. Nazwa is the owner of this risk. Number 4, the current budget does not follow as planned. Asyura is in charge to handle this risk. And lastly, the system does not work properly. I am in charge to handle this risk. Each risk is overcome with the appropriate response and appropriate resources.
For the conversion strategy, we choose the phase conversion, where the system will be installed slowly, phase by phase. So firstly, we will install the CCTV system. After it, we make sure that it has no problem, then we will continue to installing the interactive panel. And after there's no issues with the interactive panel, we will then move on to the payment system. It is very useful because this conversion strategy won't interrupt the entire process. For the conversion strategy that we didn't choose are the parallel and the direct. For the parallel, it requires us to run the old and the new system simultaneously before converting to the new system entirely. This conversion is a bit risky and it can duplicate the data because the system is run from two different environments. As for the direct conversion, it is risky and very risky out of three of the conversion strategy because it will require us to stop using the old system entirely and start using the new system at a specific point of time. The downside of this conversion is we cannot rely on the old system as we already shift entirely to the new system. And there might be some trouble because these two types conversion, because firstly they might have some issues with lack of training for the user, and then there might be some funding problem and the equipment that can maybe late to arrive. Thank you.
Let's move on to Model 3 Part 2, which is checklist of the project. In this project, I have included 20 checklists. So it starts from, did the project achieve all its MOV? Did the project achieve its MOV? Have all the deliverables been completed? Have all the deliverables been approved and signed off by the client? Has the project manager, project team, and client conducted a post-project review? Have all the resources been paid? Was the client satisfied with all overall project? Has a invoice been generated? What was the project software expenditure considered? Were resources allocated to project tasks as planned? Next page is checklist number 11 to 20. So it starts with, were the recommendation cost effective? Were there any unnecessary expenditure in the project? Was the project well managed? Was the project complete on time? Were there any additional resources added in the middle of the project timeline? If there were conflict, was it handled well? Were the project manager and his team professional and ethical in their action? Were all the team members and resources released? Were reports and performance evaluation for the team members complete? Were all contracts and processes terminated? Well, that is all for our 20 checklists of the project. Last but not least, I am going to explain about the evaluation of measurable organizational value (MOV). There are numerous aspects that keep track towards the end of the project, such as scope, schedule, budget, quality, customer satisfaction, and business case. The importance of project scope is to keep the project on track as the project team members remain focused on the task. The project was successfully completed 38 days, about 3 weeks earlier compared to the original project plan due to 20% reduction of client's requirement. This will give flexibility to the client and be able to help citizens of Lesterval to hop on the bus easily. Thank you.
That's all for now. We would like to say thank you to Madam Zawiya for guiding us throughout the semester, especially for this course, project management. And we hope that we're able to apply this knowledge in the future in managing a project. And again, we would like to say thank you. And that's all for now. Bye-bye.